So welcome to today's video. We are taking a look at how to mix haze pink from the supergranulating watercolor series of Schmincke Horadam. We have a two-color mix here again, and we have the PR 233, which is Potter's Pink. I'm using the one from Winsor Newton Professional today, which was, by the way, the first company ever to introduce this pigment into watercolors. And then we have the PB36. This is a cobalt pigment which can make this cerulean blue color shades, but also darker turquoise colors. And we are needing the darker turquoise color version for this color mix. As always, we will be starting with a swatch of the original because I have the bought the original years ago when it was introduced as a limited edition series. It was then they had another time where they released it as a limited edition series again in these small sets with 5 ml tubes, but starting this year they introduced the haze and the urban, which was also a limited edition series, into the regular colors of the supergranulating watercolor series. So now you can buy the haze colors open stock in tubes or in pans like all the other colors. So as you can see, the turquoise can get definitely a lot darker than the standard cobalt turquoise you are probably knowing. If you are interested in learning more about the cerulean or the cobalt turquoises, I will put a link in the description box below to my videos which are dedicated to these pigments. There you also can see the difference. When you want to recreate supergranulating or color separating mix of a company, it doesn't matter which company it is always good to take a look at first which pigments do you need. The second guess is which version of the pigment is the company using, because some pigments can look very, very different. So you can have from some pigments 5 companies offering the color as a single pigment color, and you can have 5 different results. So it is always good if the company, for example, has a dot card and you have the dot card, then you can see a realistic version. How does the company from which you want to recreate a mix, which open stock pigments do they use? So they normally don't use pigments for the mixes which are different from the single pigment versions they are offering in their regular watercolor lines, because it is just easier because they already have them. So it is most times they use those versions. Difficult is it is when the company is offering different versions of the pigment. Then you will have to do a try and error and do every version and take a look at which is the one they have used. But in this case, I know that Schmincke also offers a dark turquoise PB36 version, and in the original version you can see this darker turquoisey areas. So that was the point where I said I can't imagine that it is the blue version, because the result would look different. It would more look like purplish, because we have a pink and a blue. So the turquoise version it is. I'm using the version from Daniel Smith today, just because I want to use up the small palette. Yeah. The Potter's Pink, for example, is a pigment where you can have different results. With most brands it looks very similar, this darker earthy kind of pink, but there are brands offering a very light, very soft rose looking version, and these soft looking versions you can't use in those mixes because it is too soft. All the other colors would overpower it and you would miss the dark pink granulation which we have here in the original. So for example, I having a soft rose version from the Polish company Renaissance Intense, and that's the reason why I don't use this in the recreation of these mixes, because it just wouldn't work. It would look completely different. And the second version of how pigments could look different, not with light to dark, but with complete different colors, is of course like the PB36. We have either a blue or a turquoise. And of course then we have very different shades, not even a lighter and a darker version, but completely different color shades. Like for example, if you're looking at the PG19 version from Schmincke Horadam, which is a very light green, like a grass green. And then you have the same pigment, but from the Michael Harding watercolors, which looks like a very dark green, which is like what's the fir? The needle tree, which you are also using for Christmas trees, like this kind of green, like the green needles, a super dark green. Totally completely different kinds of green. So of course if you're using one or another, the results will be completely different. So that is also the reason why I say, at least if you don't have the dot cards, every brand normally offers, at least the bigger brands offer in the internet on their websites a color chart. And when you're taking a look at those, of course, they colors on a chart in the internet are definitely never 100% correct, because it depends on the photograph, on your monitor and other things. But you can get the idea. For example, with the PG19, you would know if it is a dark green version or if it is a lighter green version. So you can look up brands offering those versions. You don't have to use the same brand which you want to recreate the mix, of course. Just look up which is more easily available or cheaper or better price for value option for you wherever you live. Because we all know prices differ a lot in other countries. When I look up the prices for Schmincke Horadam on Jackson's, I always think I would never buy a Schmincke color in Germany for that price, because it is the prices are just so much more on Jackson's. They're super expensive, in my personal opinion, when I look at the prices in Germany, where Schmincke Horadam 15 ml tubes starts for around €9, and I would pay, I don't know, way more at least on Jackson's, which is a shop I know that a lot of people are buying from. That's also the reason why I said maybe it can be cheaper to really to buy Schmincke Horadam via a German shop which ships internationally, because if you're living, for example, in the US and ordering on Jackson's, you're ordering on Jackson's and it comes from Europe. So if you're ordering from one or another, it may be cheaper. Okay, so as always, I mixed not enough that is why I had to mix again. And I hope you could at least see it a little bit, that I needed a lot of the Potter's Pink, and that the mixture here has a little bit more like, it looks like it is a little bit more Potter's Pink than the turquoise. The mix itself looks it is a gray which tends a little bit more towards pink. So from the mix itself, a little bit of the turquoise and a little bit more of the Potter's Pink. I would say maybe somewhere to 60 to 40, or yeah, I would say we're probably around 60 to 40 or 65 to 35, something around that from the mix. So that's at least my personal feeling. Just if you want to recreate it, it is a little bit easier, because the turquoise version is just, the turquoise is darker, it has more tinting strength than the Potter's Pink, so you need less to get the same dark results of the color. I'm still too light in my version. I always test it on little paper stripes before I apply it. So the color itself, it is the same. It is just too watered down because the space is bigger, and that is where I decided that for future videos, I have a few already done complete, but for all which I want to film from scratch in the future, I will have to look that I will put the areas where I want to apply the color more similar in size, so that I can do a better job at getting the same darkness of the colors. But I hope that at least in a few darker areas you can see that the color is very similar, or that it is the same. Better said, it is just more watered down. So this is definitely a mixture which is super easy to create yourself. It is not a mixture which is hard to recreate, at least in my personal opinion. You need a dark Potter's Pink version, and you need this PB36 dark turquoise version, and you're good to go. That are both colors which are not very often included in sets. The Potter's Pink, I think, is really rarely in standard sets. Sometimes you can get the turquoise version of the PB36, but it is also not so often. So that are probably colors which you will have to buy separately if you not already have them. But they are both beautiful colors on their own, and both also absolutely beautiful mixing colors for any kind of color separation colors. Of course, they are both not the cheapest, but in my opinion definitely totally worth the buy. I must say that the Potter's Pink I rarely use as a pure color. To 99% I use it only as a mixing color, but turquoise I use very often on its own as well. So yeah, I like both very much, and probably that's also the reason why this haze pink is my favorite color in the haze series. So yeah, let me know if you have already mixed this yourself, or what your favorite color in the haze series is. Like I said, mine is this one. And yeah, I hope that, as always, the video was interesting and helpful for you. Thank you very much for watching, and a thumbs up or a follow is very much appreciated, because it really helps me on the channel. So thank you very much for that, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And yeah, to see you soon in another video. Bye bye.